I had an epiphany that and a real call to chaplaincy,
Hmm.
and I didn't know how to go about doing that, but it was it was a really strong call, and it was a call that kept coming back as call stories do. People have call stories, and it wasn't overnight, but the signals were very, very strong.
Mm.
And so I thought, okay, I'll find out what's involved, and I know it'll be too much, and I can at least say, okay, God, I found out, and it's not my thing, and we can put that to rest. Um, so I called. I can't remember who I called, but I connected with VST somehow. And Jim McCullum, who was then registrar at VST, said, "What are you waiting for?" And I thought, I said, "Well, I don't have a university degree. I'm just a nurse. And I've hardly worked at nursing. And, really a stay at home mom and done a ton of volunteer stuff. And I just have to put this call to rest. So this is why I'm here." And he said again, "What are you waiting for?" So he organized that I should have a meeting with one of the teaching chaplains at the cancer agency, Colin Johnstone. And I said, okay, I'll go see Colin. And Colin said, "It doesn't matter that you haven't been to seminary. I want you in my program. Test it. Test to see whether
Hmm.
chaplaincy might be truly your call." So, my goodness, um, I tested it. He offered me an internship that summer while he was on holidays, to be chaplain for the cancer agency while he was away, and to work through the summer. I actually got paid. Was real, as a lifelong volunteer, to be paid for something is sort of, really. And then I started VST that fall, and at that time there was a degree called a master's degree of pastoral studies, and not offered anymore. And and so I did that degree, and it was really an MDiv without the position paper. So
Right.
it was essentially, it was the same thing, but we just didn't do a position paper.
And you were able to do that without an undergrad.
I was able to do that without an undergrad. So really, Kimiko, the doors opened that really, by all rights, should not have been opened. I mean, that they, um, but which is why I'm particularly mindful and open to our candidates or people who would like to be candidates. I'm attuned to their story, and
Hmm.
I always have to question, well, why why would we not admit this person? Sort of, so that's sort of where my thinking enters in. And so I started the process with what was then the Canadian Association of Pastoral Practice and Education, and now I think they've shortened their name. Um, and the and so the United Church part is, in order to do advanced work with then CAPE was called CAPE. In order to do that, you needed something called a mandate for ministry from your denomination. Now, the United Church did not have anything called a mandate for ministry. So, my very good friend Brian Thorpe was executive secretary of BC Conference at that time. And so I said to Brian, okay, how do I get a mandate for ministry? So he took it to the committee of the day, education and something perhaps, took it to the committee of the day, and they agreed that I could have a mandate for ministry if, number one, I had a successful interview with the interview board, And number two, if my congregation gave me a blessing from them supporting
Okay.
what I was doing.
And who would you have considered your congregation at that point?
Oh, at that point, I was well and truly back in the church. I
Right.
was away for 15 years,
Yeah.
but when my children needed Sunday school, I went back.
To which
That's
congregation?
it was called Mount Seymour. Before it was Mount Seymour, it was
Oh,
still Mount Seymour / Deep Cove,
okay.
and they amalgamated. So, and I was chair of the council during the amalgamation time. So yes, I was back in the church.
Okay.
Okay, so
So you got a
um,
mandate for ministry that didn't exist, but you got one anyways.
yep, yeah, and so completed advanced training with CAPE, and their advanced training was, and the certificate you got was a specialist in institutional ministry. So that's what I did, and I wasn't expecting to work. I thought this is nice. I like this. Um, didn't expect to work, but I had a job offer given to me before I finished school, so I worked at UBC Hospital for a number of years.
And how long did you end up working in that role as a chaplain?
Gosh, it must have been close to 10 years.
Wow.